Now, starters, you would never ever think that this was actually going to be a video about a car, but I'm harking it back to its roots because pretty much they were the answer to this. Back in the day when you worked on the mines and pits, if you only had a motorbike licence, because that's all you could really afford at the time, you needed an answer for the winter, something with a roof to keep you warm, and something that could also have a bike licence. Well, the answer came from Reliant, in the form of the Robin. This thing was classed as a tricycle, had 4 seats you could put your family in and enjoy it for the weekend. And then you got this shape right here, and this is like the Mark III if I'm remember correctly off the top of my head. Tape deck, windy windows, cool little mini light style wheels on the back. But back then, like, none of this really mattered because rum Reliance and bits and pieces like that. If you worked down the pits and the mines and you only had a bike licence and it was the winter and you wanted to get home after a shift down the pit, you wanted to be warm and dry, and this was kind of the answer instead of going to work on your bike. And you'd actually get home in one piece and not having to hit ice and be cold and wet if you didn't roll over. But yeah, these are like a bit of history, to be honest. These were made across 30 years from Tamworth, I think, off the top of my head, and the one of the most popular plastic bodied cars in the history of like motoring of the world, basically, because they were that popular. They sold that many to the masses, and they served people. They did exactly what they were said on the tin. So you can't really knock it, really, because it did its job and it got people around, and that's pretty cool.
You take a sound, any sound, record it, and then change its nature by multiplicity of operations. Record it at different speeds, create backwards, and it will itself over and over again. Just for those acoustic qualities, you combine segments of magnetic tape. By these means and many others, you can create sounds which no one has ever heard before.
So yes, as we know, it's got 3 wheels and this and that, but these are actually a staple in history. These are like the little cars or tricycles or whatever you may call them that actually got people to work and actually helped like with the industrial side of things. These were bought by like proper people. These people worked bloody hard for their money, and at the same time they got people around, and the engineering behind them, if people might say they're unreliable or not, they still did their job, and you just cannot like you can't come close to even questioning that because of the staple that they've got in the history of British engineering and in motoring. These are a thing to be proud of, I think, personally, and they did exactly that. They got people around, they were very unique in the design for the day, and they got the job done.